What is going on, guys? BriarRabbit here, and the Nintendo E3 live web thingy just ended. It wasn't a press conference so much as just a broadcast over the internet, and man, they really announced a ton of stuff, and a lot of it was really cool. So if you know me, you've watched the channel for a little bit, you know I'm not the biggest Nintendo supporter right now. They don't really make games that cater to me specifically. I like mature content. That's really what interests me. So when I look at a lot of the Nintendo stuff, sure, it looks nice, it looks pretty, but it doesn't really grab me. It doesn't grab my attention. That kind of changed today. A lot of the stuff that they showed off was really, really cool, and it's definitely going to cost me a ton of money. So the first thing they showed off was Super Smash Brothers. Everybody knew this was coming. They're saying it's going to come out in December, the holiday season of this year. But what was really interesting about this, there were two things, right? Is that you'll be able to use your Mii as a playable character in Super Smash Brothers. So that is pretty cool. So you can create any kind of Mii that you want to use. They showed off a President Lincoln Mii. You know, you can make your Darth Vader Mii fight in there. I mean, there's all sorts of Miis that people have been creating for years. And to bring those into Super Smash Brothers, I think is a really exciting idea. That alone gets me excited enough about Super Smash Brothers to pick it up. I know the kids will like it too. But there was a second thing, and this is called Amiibo. So if you're familiar with Skylanders or Disney Infinity, you'll be familiar with these little characters that you put on your console or on a little pad, and they join in the game, and they can actually save data right into the character action figure, and you can save your data that way. Well, Nintendo's doing this. They're definitely seeing opportunity, and I do too, for Amiibo. Amiibo are going to be these little characters. They're going to be Nintendo-branded characters, very small, just like a Skylanders kind of thing. They don't move, they don't articulate, but you put them right on your Wii U pad. Right on the pad has a little transceiver in it that you can use to put that character right on there. And then you can bring that character in to all of your Nintendo games that support it. And so far, they've said a lot of games will support this. Right off the bat, Super Smash Brothers is going to do it. They're going to add it to Mario Kart 8 and a bunch of other games that I'll get to later. So this is pretty exciting on two levels. First of all, if you're a collector, you're going to love these little Nintendo figurines. You're going to be able to upgrade them, get their stats up. You know, they have little chips in them, so they save your data. You can bring them to a friend's house. Bring your version of Zelda might be different than your friend's version of Zelda. Who knows how, really intricately you can level them up, like if there'll be different leveling trees, or if it'll just be like everybody's the same if they're level 50. We don't know that yet, but it'd be cool if it kind of had branching trees so you could really have differences in your characters. And it'd be good for Nintendo because then you could buy two Zeldas and they'd be completely different, right? So that's exciting. I know I'm going to spend a lot of money because the kids already like Skylanders, but they're more into Nintendo than they are Skylanders, so they're definitely going to like that. This is definitely something that is going to cost me and other parents a ton of money. A ton. This is going to be crazy. I mean, it's a great idea on Nintendo's part. It's a fantastic idea. So Amiibo will be used in a bunch of games, and that is very good. They also announced some other games. So Yoshi's Woolly World. It's like a Yoshi game, but the whole world is created out of yarn. It looks like folded over sweaters, and even the characters are knitted from yarns. They look like little plushies made from yarn. The game is gorgeous. It really reminds one of Little Big Planet, but here's the difference between Yoshi and Little Big Planet. One of these properties is created by Nintendo, who has a history of doing games with fantastic controls and high levels of fun factor. So Little Big Planet, you get to create your own world. Yoshi's Woolly World, you get Nintendo creating one for you. So either way you go, I think you're making a good choice, but having Nintendo build levels and controls is definitely a good thing. So Yoshi's Woolly World, it was cutesy, it was soft, it was plush, but it just looked like fun, and it looked like there was a lot of exploring you could do in it too, so hopefully it'll be fairly deep. we'll see about that one. I'm actually pretty excited about it. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. So this one was a little less exciting to me. It looked like a 3D adventure game starring Toad from the Mario franchise. It looked really cute, looked really simplistic. It didn't really speak to me, but I'm sure other people will enjoy it quite a bit. They also talked about the next Legend of Zelda. They actually had one of the developers on screen talking about what it took to kind of get to where they are now and why they've made the decisions they're making. This is going to be an open world Zelda game. I don't know if it'll be as open as something like Skyrim, but that was definitely what they were implying. They showed off just this beautiful vista and said that you can walk to the furthest mountains that you can see in here. They had Link riding a horse, and then they had this kind of huge tentacled monster start chasing Link and shooting cannons at him, and then they started to battle in a forest. It was very, very beautiful, as Nintendo games always are. That's the great thing about Nintendo, is they're so good at the art design that you don't really have to worry about what hardware they're developing. They're just going to make it beautiful no matter what, because they're just so talented. So Legend of Zelda, it was an adult Link, which was nice to see, but it was still very Nintendo, right? It didn't look mature by any means. It had an adultish Link with kind of, longer hair, but it was not, by no means was it like a grizzled solid snake type Link. It was still a very kid-friendly look. Next, they showed off a couple of Pokemon games for the 3DS. I believe they're the sequels to Red and Ruby, or whatever they are. I don't follow the Pokemon franchise very closely, and I know there's been a ton of them, but these are the next two in line for the 3DS. Bayonetta 2, I didn't play the original Bayonetta. I heard that it was pretty fun. Bayonetta 2 is coming for the Wii U, and excitingly enough, if you buy Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U, it'll include the original Bayonetta on the disc. So that's nice if you haven't played either of the game. That actually makes for a pretty good value if you're into the Bayonetta games. They're kind of snarky 3D action games with really big, bombastic action. Next up was Hyrule Warriors. So this is basically a Dynasty Warriors game with the characters from Legend of Zelda. This isn't interesting to me whatsoever. I know that other people are interested in this. I do not like the Dynasty Warriors franchise. It's too button mashy and it's too repetitive. But if you really like Dynasty Warriors and you really like Zelda, this is really something to look forward to. They also showed a Kirby game, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, where you actually use a stylus on your Wii U gamepad to kind of draw ramps and platforms for Kirby to slide and jump on. Next, they showed Xenoblade Chronicles, which looked like a crazy JRPG with people talking really introspectively about war and life, and it was a snooze fest. The next game, though, is a must-buy. This is an amazing game. It's called Mario Maker, and what it allows you to do is to create your own Super Mario levels for either like a game that kind of looks like the original Super Mario Brothers on the NES, or for a new style Super Mario Brothers like you'd see on the Wii U. So you can choose between either of those two styles, like that blocky 8-bit or the brand new polygon-filled Super Mario of now, and create your own levels. So expect to see a ton of tube-shaped penises in Mario games in the future. I'm really looking forward to this. I can't wait to buy this for the kids. I think it's really a great idea on Nintendo's part. I'm surprised they've never done this in the future, because in retrospect, it seems like a no-brainer. How are you not going to make a Mario Maker game? So this is a great idea. I can't wait to get a hold of this one. One of the weirdest things I saw at this press conference was Splatoon. So this is a kind of a cutesy cross between, I think, like a third-person shooter and Othello. So the goal of this game is you play on 2 4-player teams. It's a combat game, except instead of the objective being to kill everybody on the other team, your goal is to paint the entire arena in your color. So both teams have kind of super chokers, and they're spraying their ink all over the level. And I mean, okay, I won't go into that, but yeah, you're trying to cover that level in your color ink, and the enemy team's doing that. There even looks like there's kill streaks where you can get like this huge paint roller and like roll it down You can roll like the floor with it, and you can even turn it into a squid. And when you're a squid, you have different powers. You can actually like jump into the ink and like kind of swim really fast across the level. You know, so there's all sorts of stuff that you can make fun of here, but at the core of it, it looked like a really super fun kind of different take on a shooter. Something I haven't seen really like a really different version of since, I don't know, the Batman shooter that came out a few years ago for the Xbox 360. This game looks like it's going to be fun. I don't know how long it's going to be fun for. It is on the Wii U, so a nice innovative shooter would be a lot of fun on the Wii U. And it's a really different kind of take on a shooter. So I'm actually going to check this one out because it looks like enough fun, and plus all the jokes that you can have about spraying your ink all over the place. I mean, that's just going to be a ton of fun online. So the last thing they announced was the Super Mario Brothers. They announced another character for it. This isn't something I've been following. It's Lady Palutena. It's a character, I guess, that's been in some of the Mario games. I'm not even sure who she is, but I figured I'd mention it because it was in the briefing. Now, compared to the Xbox 360 or Xbox One and Sony PlayStation 4 briefings, I think there was less stuff announced in this one. There just wasn't as much stuff. My notes were about half as long as they were for the Xbox One or the PS4. However, what they announced was really exciting. It was really fresh and original. It's stuff that is exclusive to Nintendo. You're not going to get this stuff on the PlayStation 4. You're not going to get this on the Xbox One. And I think what they did here is they made a strong case for, if you like to have fun in video games, if every game doesn't have to be a shooter for you or killing people, the Wii U is your game console. You're not going to find this stuff anywhere else. You're only going to find it here on the Wii U. You're only going to find it on the Nintendo console. I think they made a strong argument there. The webcast was fun. It had like a little fight scene between two Nintendo executives. I mean, it was lighthearted, and they showed off some really nice looking games. Not everything spoke to me directly, but everything looked like it'd be fun. Everything looked like it'd be a lot cooler and like very Nintendo-y. So that's going to do it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll probably do a video maybe at the end of the day or tomorrow about what I kind of think, who won E3. But honestly, at this point, I think everybody came out looking good in E3. Xbox One's got some good stuff coming out in 2014 and 2015. Same goes for PlayStation 4. I think their 2014 lineup might be a little stronger. But you know, everybody's looking really good. Nintendo's obviously looking strong. They have stuff that just nobody else can get because they develop the games in-house, and they're one of the best developers in the world. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button if you like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.